Nicotinamide, adenine dinucleotide. In this case, referring to NAD+. And I promise to keep this as simple as possible. But what we're looking at is compounds or elements, for example, in this case, flavonoids, carotenoids, stilbenes, and basically other compounds per se, as you see in this chart right here, that are going to help keep NAD+, I would say, elevated at least to, hopefully, at youthful levels. Now, this is going to be in relation to a couple of complicated issues in regard to PRP1 and sirtuins, otherwise SIRT1, and CD38. Now, PRP1 and SIRT1, you want to see things that help raise it. Just again, keeping it simple. CD38 is responsible for the degradation of NAD+ in the body, so we would like to see that lower. And this is where these compounds come in. Now, people may ask too, well, why can't I just take NAD+ orally? And yes, you can. However, though, there's some challenges when it comes to, without getting technical, how it's broken down in the body, especially the small intestine itself, back into nicotinamide mononucleotides and so on and so forth, nicotinamide riboside, and some other elements per se on that aspect. But we'll get into that in a second. So what you try to do here, since you may not be successful with the oral consumption of NAD+, maybe a better route to look at synergistic combinations, which help keep NAD+ elevated, at least the objective of reaching youthful levels. And let's look at this chart real fast. All right, so we're looking at stilbenes. We're looking at resveratrol, pterostilbene, which you see the PTR. So it's pterostilbene. The flavonoids, quercetin, fisten, otherwise some people like to pronounce fisten, luteolin, luteolinidin, and Apigenein. Apigenein, and these are all incredibly exciting compounds. And then we're looking at the carotenoids. I know the temptation is to say carotenoids because of carrot. Carotenoids, astaxanthin, lycopene, other compounds, curcumin, coenzyme Q10, betaine, alpha-ketoglutarate, as well as epigallocatechin, gallate, EGCG, which a lot of being familiar with, primarily with green tea, but it's in other elements as well as that. I start speaking a little slower. We have a lot of ground to cover. So again, real promising. We cannot cover them all. So all I could do is give you a taste, a reference to 4 of them, which looked like to stand out in the crowd, even though they're all exceptional. So we're going to look at astaxanthin. We're going to look briefly at lycopene, some element in regard to coenzyme Q10, as well as pterostilbene. Otherwise, the one looks like pterodactyl. So let's get rid of this chart, and I will display this chart again after the video is over. This way you can review it, and if you want to, write things down. So let us proceed. And I'm going to slow down in some aspects and speed it up along some of the technical parts, which I need to connect things together. So please forgive me if you see me going kind of fast. I will slow it down during the important parts. So to keep it simple, title of the research, Potential Synergistic Supplementation of NAD+, Promoting Compounds as a Strategy for Increasing Health Span, Longevity, or Healthy Aging. The purpose of this review. Multiple cohort studies spanning various age groups have shown significant decreases in NAD+ levels with age. This dysregulation identifies NAD+ as a potential target for age-related pathologies in model organisms. NAD+ precursor administration result in delayed muscle atrophy, improved neurodegenerative pathologies, and restored metabolic function. Again, NAD is an incredibly exciting compound altogether. The clinically relevant evidence regarding the targeting of NAD+ to replenish endogenous stores and invigorate the NAD+ salvage pathway is compounding, raising the question how NAD+ administration may be able to affect aging or age-related deficits in humans. Given the importance of maintaining NAD+ levels for optimal health and longevity, restoring NAD+ levels is a promising and feasible approach in promoting health during aging. Again, take excerpts from the full study. The link will be there on the YouTube channel. Please follow up. Again, trust but verify. To proceed, in this review, quoting, we focus on the decrease in nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide with age and supplementation of NAD plus precursors such as nicotinamide mononucleotide, otherwise known as NMN, nicotinamide riboside, in combination with other geroprotective compounds. I like that term, you don't hear often, geroprotective compounds, to restore NAD plus levels present in youth. Furthermore, the geroprotectors may enhance the efficacy in NMN supplementation while concurrently providing their own numerous health benefits by analyzing the prevention of NAD plus degradation, i.e. CD38. Through the providing their own numerous health benefits by analyzing the prevention of NAD plus degradation through inhibition of CD38 or supporting protective downstream agents of SIRT1. We provide, quoting, a potential framework of the CD38 NAD plus SIRT1 axis. Through the geroprotectors may enhance the efficacy of NAD plus precursor supplementation and reduce the risk of age-related diseases, thereby potentiating health spans in humans. All right, here we go. PRP1, I'm just going to give you an excerpt so you get a brief idea what it does. It doesn't do it justice, but at least it gives you a taste. PRP1, an enzyme that detects DNA damage and facilitates repair pathways. Sounds important. SIRT1, a member of the protein family that has evolved in cellular response to various stressors, has been shown to be implicated in longevity, but experimental analysis have yielded mixed and context-dependent results. Nonetheless, the high-level athletes exhibit higher telomere length and lowered insulin resistance, correlating with high levels of SIRT1 expression. Strong correlation. Correlation is not causation, but it's a good start. CD38, an enzyme responsible for degradation of NAD+, which disrupts the NAD+ synthesis pathways during the course of aging. So basically, not good. Want to keep it lower. CD38 does serve a purpose, but again, just like cholesterol elements, too much may not necessarily be a good thing. So they want to keep it down. To proceed, we're going to focus on the NMN as opposed to NR. It's a nicotinamide mononucleotide in regard to being a solid precursor. And this is why. NMN supplementation has been shown to target one of the hallmarks of aging, telomere attrition. Short-term supplementation of NMN in pre-aging mice and humans, ages 45 to 60 years old, I assume humans, showed a significant increase in telomere length in peripheral blood mononuclear cells, as well as altered fecal microbiota, benefiting immune and metabolic pathways, where specific administration in mice has been shown to increase the ratio beneficial to harmful gut bacteria strains. That's why I speak fast. NMN supplementation has also been shown to enhance the miRNA vascular expression profile in aged mice. Respiratory parameters and aerobic capacity can also be enhanced through 6 weeks of NMN supplementation in adult runners. So we're speaking to you, humans. Likely attributed to the enhanced oxygen utilization occurring in skeletal muscle in adult runners. There, so as a result of increased NAD+ availability. Lost my place for a second, regained it. Furthermore, the daily NMN supplementation at 250 milligrams is shown to be well tolerated, efficacious, while increasing the NAD+ to NADH ratio and improving muscle function in aged but otherwise healthy men. NMN supplementation also has been implicated in improving circadian rhythm patterns in older adults, where 250 milligrams daily for 12 weeks led to improvements in sleep quality as measured through PSQI, fatigue, and physical performance. All right. Now we're going to go to the 4 very complementary elements that have been shown to be beneficial in keeping the NAD+ levels a little higher than normal. To proceed, at least in aged individuals, bringing it back to youthful levels. That would be the word I was searching for without incorporating or interjecting publisher bias. We're going to focus on a couple of them. We can't do the whole study justice, so let's just pick out a few highlights, which I personally found of importance. To proceed, resveratrol and pterostilbene, I know it doesn't make any sense, pterodactyl, think of it that way. Effects might be heightened when used in combination with NMN supplementation to produce optimal results as a cleverly tailored nutraceutical orthomolecular approach, delaying or even reversing the signs of aging. That's what you want to hear. I know that's why you're tuning in the video. Age and risk-related administration. There we go. Missed the spot again. Age and risk-related biological markers for certain diseases can also be monitored in response to resveratrol and pterostilbene administration. Co-administration of NMN being taken together, nicotinamide mononucleotide, in combination, let's say with resveratrol or pterostilbene, resulted, in this case resveratrol, resulted in increased NAD plus levels in the heart and skeletal muscle compared to NMN alone. So NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide, is really cool, but when it combined with resveratrol, and at least according to this study, super. To proceed, CoQ10 and NAD plus supplementation also portray a degree of synergy when analyzing maximum heart rate after exercise in chronic fatigue syndrome. I want to reiterate that. Those individuals with chronic fatigue syndrome, this is really something to highlight. Maximum heart rate was decreased and reports of fatigue improved. Chronic fatigue syndrome, or CFS, shares some characteristics with aging and age-deregulated pathways, such as inflammation and oxidative stress. And CoQ10 and NADH supplementation were further shown to improve fatigue levels of NAD and NAD+, CoQ10, ATP, citrate synthase, and lipid peroxides. So those with chronic fatigue syndrome, looking at CoQ10 and keeping NAD levels elevated, real promising results in this combination. To proceed further, astaxanthin and lycopene. This stuff is incredible. Here we go. You ready? Unsurprisingly, all right, well, I'm surprised. Astaxanthin is highly efficacious in utilizing SIRT1 to achieve longevity-promoting effects in many experimental models. And we want to keep that up. Astaxanthin was shown in vivo to soothe oxidative stress in response to brain injury by upregulating the expression of NRF2 and SIRT1 while concurrently reducing the expression of pro-apoptotic factors, potentially reducing the risk of neuronal death events in post-injury. Already the mind begins working, especially those individuals with possible head injuries. Astaxanthin sounds really promising. The effects of a high-fat-induced diet on cardiac and fibrotic damage also can be ameliorated by astaxanthin due upregulation of SIRT1, inhibition of inflammatory cellular mobility, and reduced incidence of collagen deposition leading to fibrosis post-injury. Astaxanthin sounds really cool as a post-injury supplement, head injury or otherwise. Astaxanthin can additionally protect renal tissue post-injury through its upregulation of SIRT1. The most important finding of astaxanthin's ability to boost NAD plus availability was found by, I believe, Zhang, where NMN, astaxanthin, and blood orange extract were utilized to successfully increase NAD plus in aging zebrafish. Well, good for them. Exhibiting superiority in raising NAD plus levels compared to supplementation of just nicotinamide riboside or nicotinamide riboside and astaxanthin, and even nicotinamide riboside and pterostilbene. The study can serve as a basis for future studies of supplements to hone in on effective, precise dosages in synergistic combinations to maximize the effect of NAD plus boosting approaches in humans. Lycopene. Another tidbit of surprising information which really expands the appreciation of some of these nutraceuticals. To proceed, lycopene, another red pigmented carotenoid, also possesses strong antioxidant and anti-inflammatory characteristics. Oxidative stress and intrinsic aging process can lead to plasma lycopene depletion, and impaired absorption and supplementation has been shown to improve physical performance, osteoporosis, and skin aging. So lycopene, people usually think of it like a prostate thing, but to proceed, improve physical performance, osteoporosis, and skin aging, according to footnote 187. Interestingly, lycopene activates SIRT1 to impact muscle angiogenesis and reverse insulin resistance in models of age-related vascular decline. In vivo and in vitro models of degalactose-induced aging were ameliorated in a superiority trial with astounding results in response to NMN and nicotinamide mononucleotide, and lycopene combination therapy with increases in superoxide dismutase, GSH, is glutathione, and so on and so forth. And evidence of senolytic abilities, NRF2 was upregulated, and in vivo models showed enhanced cognition compared to NMN alone. So there you have, NMN is basically a rising star on its own. Combined with a few of these compounds, like in this case, this last part was lycopene. Wow. So you see what I mean? This is what we talk about potentiating, synergistic combinations to really keep those NAD plus levels as high as possible, at least hopefully restore it to that of youthful levels per se. But still, just the same, it is incredible tools in your nutraceutical arsenal. All right, to proceed to the conclusion, quoting, perhaps the maximum benefit can be derived not simply from one compound, but from an ingredient profile that incorporates multiple compounds that work together to achieve synergistic effect. If a formulation can function to boost NAD plus levels, insert one activity and reduce CD38 activity, remember CD38 activity degrades NAD plus, this will optimize lifespan and health span, two very important words. Living longer is the goal, but living healthy longer is a great complement to that goal. Via extension supplements. Further, the more pathways that are affected, the more broadly these supplements can be applied to have a positive impact on health and aging of multiple bodily symptoms. That's what we don't want. Systems. This will expand the application of these supplements, thereby broadening the populations that may benefit. And again, in this case, any population which ages looks like will be yielding the greatest benefit. So, the takeaway. What you're looking at is basically synergistic compounds. What we had before, when you look at the luteolin, not to take away from fisten, you're looking at tons of the compounds per se. They are all incredibly, quercetin, like we all know, are all incredible. We couldn't include it all in this one particular video. Otherwise, I have to speak much faster than I currently am right now. But still, it has a great potential of hypothetical efficacy, if not even causal, in a lot of the studies which are already done. Future studies need to be propagated in combination with nicotinamide mononucleotide or nicotinamide riboside, and to see which one works the best in regard to dosaging and so on and so forth. But still, just the same, it shows us a path. Now it's a question of what is the best way to take that path. Henceforth, the link is going to be there for you on the YouTube channel. Always never forget gratitude to all the researchers involved. There's a lot of videos out there on NAD+. If you want to link it below, you're perfectly welcome to do that. You're welcome. Again, all I do is just cover the research, but still, it is just gratitude to the researchers. And as always, I am humbled you watch. Please forgive me for talking kind of fast. As you know, a lot of ground we covered today, but hopefully elucidated some of the synergistic compounds that may yield benefit to you or others as a whole. Again, or individually. Catch you all next time. See you then. Bye.